Hello, this is Tom Clabb with my bi-monthly precious metals market update. Let's jump right into several areas today we want to discuss. We've had a lot of questions about. And of course, the first one is, how's this economy going to continue to expand? And we have to go back a little bit in history to look at that, because the printing of money and what it's done, how it's wrecked the U.S. dollar already in the world market, and we're really just getting started. Let me start out by talking about 1980, when Jimmy Carter was president. He was running against Ronald Reagan, and we saw for the first time a $500 billion budget by the government to run the country. $500 billion a year to run the government, and Jimmy Carter, of course, got beaten by Reagan because of this ridiculous amount. Today, as I make this, the size of government's gone from $500 billion a year to over $4.5 trillion a year. The size of government's increased 9 times, 900% on that. And we sit there and just sit in disbelief. We've recently watched the budget deficit that's about $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion a year, now up to $30 trillion. And the interest on the debt at an average of 2% is $600 billion a year on interest. Now consider that in 1980, to run the whole government for a year was $500 billion, and now you fast forward from 1980 till today, and it's $4.5 trillion to run the government, and it's getting worse and worse and worse as interest is compounding. Let's talk about compounding interest. And financial planning, as a lot of us came up in, you looked at the rule of 72. If you want to know if you bought an investment and held it, how long it would take to double, you would divide by into 72. So if you were making 6% a year into 72, it'd take you 12 years to double your investment. But if you made 12% a year, it only takes 6 years to double your investment off the compounding of interest. What's happened to our government? We're compounding debt. We're compounding and growing and growing and growing the debt, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's a monster out there. You watch the dollar come from 123 on the world index all the way down to 95. As I've said many times, when it goes below 92, you're going to see the Japanese, the Chinese. They can nail the U.S. government anytime they want. They can break the dollar. And I've said also many times, we know that every 1% every 1% the dollar goes down, gold goes up 4% on average. That's been the life of it since the 1970s. So we sit there now, and you've got to be worried. We can't keep printing money. We can't keep not paying any debt off. We roll it, and it compounds. And you see how fast it's growing, even if it's compounding at 2 or 3%. 20 years, it doubles from 30 trillion to 60, 70, 80 trillion. This country cannot take that. It's got to quit getting politically right and pay the price to get this thing in shape now. So recently, I mentioned 2 weeks ago about Ray Dalio coming in, one of the top money managers in the world, on 60 Minutes, and he's talking about what he's going to do this year in 2022. And his top 2 things he talked about were gold and NFTs. And certainly, if gold, we think it will be, because more and more people are going to buy it. And right now, if you're buying gold, we like the bars. We like the 1 ounce gold bars. And certainly for the bigger investment, they can $55,000 to $60,000. They want to buy a kilo bar because they're buying it very close to a spot price. So you need to be buying those. We've recently just sold one of our clients several $1 million of that, and he tested 3 or 4 other waters, and we came in a total of about 1 3/4% on several $1 million cheaper then he could find it anywhere. So Ray Dalio is a man to listen to, a man to respect, knows a lot more. I doubt if you're dealing with a money manager that's doing what he's doing. So if he thinks gold's number one, I sure wouldn't be going against him. I'd be getting my percentage in gold that I wanted. And the NFTs, we've talked about on this and what we're doing with the ice cap diamonds, with NFTs. Unbelievable. The first 6 months has been unbelievable. The ones of you that haven't talked to me personally, if you'll just call the office and set a time, I'll call you back. But that is not a better investment for the next several years, especially with an insurance policy that guarantees your grade by Lloyd's of London forever. I mean, so you can't not have it going up. And then you just look at the opportunity to have it on the blockchain. It's like buying Bitcoin, except you have something really to back it. And the ones of you that have bought it in the first 6 months that we've had this program have made a lot of you double digit in just 4 or 5, 6 months. So if you haven't talked about that, you can take delivery of the diamond or you can put it on the blockchain. I'd be happy to go over. So if you'll just call our office at 800-247-2812 and let Jade or Dan know you'd like to talk to me about the NFTs and the diamonds that we're doing. Now I want to get to silver. It's amazing right now. 46 years of doing this, I've never had the problem getting sovereign coins as I have this moment, this second, this day. In other words, a sovereign coin are the gold, silver eagles, silver maple leaves, silver Britannias, silver Krugerrands, kangaroos, all the silver coins made by a country. And right now we have zero. And we're down to not a lot of silver rounds. But we know what's going to happen to the price. I mean, it is setting up. The reason it hasn't gone yet is because we probably have to raise interest rates up 0.25%, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. So it makes the economy not growing. If interest rates are rising, it slows it down. So there's still a chance of a recession. Stagflation is going on now. We have the economy with hardly any growth and inflation at a 40-year high. I mean, it's unbelievable what is going on. And this administration wants to make it much worse through debt and printing more and more money, and they don't care about the future. And all these other countries are going to move ahead of us in power because their currency is going to be way better than the dollar that's falling at a precipitous rate that's hard to believe. But keep buying silver. It hasn't been fun to watch it after it went up. Like I said, it went up over 40% in 2020. And then in 2021, we saw it come back down 20-something%. So it's been one, but it's not an investment you want to quit buying. You want to keep buying sovereign coins when they're available. You want to keep buying the silver rounds that we have right now. But you want to keep going because I know it's been very disgusting for all of us to watch what silver's done. But just remember, the Fed has got the hike rate to slow the inflation, but can they do it without putting the economy in a recession? And that is the big question, because it still is right there. We also mentioned 2 weeks ago about Jeffrey Gunlick, the bond king of the world, saying, get out of bonds. The bond king says, get out of bonds. So hopefully you're doing that. I don't see any good thing is going to come out of bonds. You may have a few income-producing bonds that are general obligation that are not losing too much, kind of breaking even, but overall it's going to fall. What does Jeffrey Dunlap say? Another one of the top guys in the world. His top 2 investments for 2022 are gold and silver. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So hopefully you're taking advice of people that know a lot more about this than you do, and probably your broker does, since your broker's probably just putting you all into stocks. And certainly if he doesn't have 10 or 20% in precious metals, I mean, I would be looking seriously at someone that did use asset allocation biblically to spread your wealth 7 or 8 ways. That's what Ecclesiastes 11:2 tells us. There's never been a wiser man than King Solomon. So certainly you're taking your time, you're looking at it. And last, my consulting business has exploded. I mean, I've spent the last 2 weeks, minus a few days with COVID, working on an account for a big family worth tens of millions of dollars. And just to have me to sound off of, having been in the financial industry since 1974 and been in the hard assets since 1976 full time, you know, I've seen it all, every kind of investment. I believe in diversification. I believe that you should have your assets spread through many categories, not just you have it in stocks and bonds and real estate and gold and silver and NFTs and diamonds and you know, go through that, because that's the way you're going to do the best, in my opinion. But talking to people, it's still hard for me to believe that they believe everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to have a magic bullet, and everything's going to be okay. And the United States is losing power and respect worldwide by the minute, is going straight into a tunnel that has no return, no way to get off. They're going straight into a downward spiraling tunnel with our investment portfolios and that we see. You know, last year, even in my own stock portfolio, we saw the Dow go up. I think it was 7 or 8%, but all that was on 5 stocks. 20-something stocks in the Dow lost money. But if you're in the right ones, you know, the 5 that went up, then you made a very respectable return. But look how many stocks went down last year compared to how many went up. And it's going to get much worse this year. There's going to be a lot less stocks make money. So get balanced and get where you want. Get your silver bought, your gold bought. Talk to me about your diamonds, because I don't know a better place, especially with the insurance policy we have, that guarantees that forever. If you haven't visited the website of icecap.diamonds, please visit it before you call me, because you'll understand a little more about it. And once again, that's icecap.diamonds. With this bi-weekly precious metals market update, this is Tom Cloud signing out. And once again, if you need to reach us, you call us at 800-247-2812. 800-247-2812.